All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. It's been a while since we've spoken, hasn't it? But here we are. Today, we're just going to talk about uh, sustainability. We're going to talk about everything that I've been doing for a while, everything that I've been working on, other than supplying you guys with best uh, clothes in the country. But ultimately, I just want to just talk about something that I haven't actually ever spoken about, and that's all about sustainability. Talking about our fabrics, talking about where we source our materials, how they're made, where they're made, um, and effectively the importance of being cognizant of how we actually use the materials that we have on us. I've recently just written and posted a blog called Sustainable Sanity. It's just a term that I just came up with. And the reason why I called it that is everyone around us is talking about being sustainable, looking after our planet, global warming, and this, that, and the other, about materials, looking after our planet. We're in the middle of summer right now, and well, at the time of this recording, sun's out, plants are growing. We've had quite a bit of rain here in the UK, but ultimately, do people over here in this part of the planet actually really care about the environment if they're still happy to drive their cars to wherever they're going to? I mean, I drove my car to the gym today, so did I care about the environment? I ultimately just used the vehicle that I purchased for myself and got to the gym, and then I drove back, and then I took public transport to get to where I wanted to get to in the city. That might be just a little bit overboard, but I think you understand where I'm going. It's all well and good us saying that our cars, our way of living is the problem, but ultimately, I would say what's actually lacking isn't necessarily our lifestyles or turning off the television at night before you go to bed, or turning off your Wi-Fi, or your Wi-Fi router, or whatever. It's ultimately you just being more cognizant of the environment that's around you. That's what I find to be much more of a beneficial um, form of awareness to your overall environment. So my blog actually talks about uh, different sustainable methods. I use I draw upon my experience in the construction industry, where timber frame structures, particularly what I've seen here in London, timber frame structures are more so people are more warm to that idea because of the sustainable benefits that timber frame construction actually gives you to a building structure. Um, they're cheap. I don't want to say, I don't know exactly if they're cheaper to make these days with inflation rates and interest rates going through the roof, but ultimately, back in the days, timber frame construction was always seen to be the much more cost efficient and energy efficient form of of construction, simply because, and I'll keep the construction tech really brief, but ultimately because the manufacturing time is less, and of course most timber frame structures can actually be prefabricated, meaning they can actually be manufactured off-site and then um, delivered to the construction site. Then it's formed up, and then of course you put on, and of course everything else happens from there. So anyway, that's enough with the construction tech. But the point I'm making my blog about that is ultimately that sustainability is actually being adhered to in other industries, especially a very, and dare I say, I'll be controversial, dare I say, a slow industry like construction, property, real estate. So if it can be done in construction, by the way, the only negative to actually using timber frame construction is actually the fire risk of what can actually happen, because of course wood and fire, the whole structure can actually go in flames very quickly compared to steel. So that's one thing. So anyway, back to where I was going to go to. What about in fashion? We see this negative stereotype about a high-end fashion brand or a brand in general that use, the whole sweatshop scenario that you tend to see in rural parts of the country or the planet. People who are very underpaid. They use very, very cheap materials and they get paid nothing. They get paid, I'm going to make it up, like 10 pence an hour or whatever, just to form your favorite dress that you would probably buy from a website or in store, and that's that. I don't know the truth. I don't know the full truth because I haven't really gone to these sweatshops, but I can tell you at Black Falcon, when I was forming, our t-shirts, our hoodies, our sweatshirts, what I was actually doing is just checking out the material. The number one thing that you probably noticed in previous videos, through social media, through the website, through our images, is that I very much value quality. I like the timeless effervescence of quiet luxury, kind of stealth wealth dressing, so to speak. You know that we're there, but hang on one second. Yeah, you know that we're there, but at the same time, it's not in your face. I'm not screaming at you that it's there. So anyway, back to the point. Where was I even going with all of that? So with the fabric that we use, we tend to use cotton. It's a ring spun kind of cotton. We tend to use it. You'll see it in our polos, less so in the t-shirts like one that I'm wearing, simply because this has actually got 5% polyester in there. That's why it's kind of stretchy, but it also adds to the comfort side of things. The reason why I say that is because cotton is a very popular, much more popular material to use these days, simply because of its health benefits. Cotton is much more safer on human skin, and of course because of its sustainable benefits too. Cotton is a much more sustainable fabric to be using rather than the polyesters out there, elastane. So guys, I don't want to keep up too much more of your time, but check out the website, check out the new blog, and yeah, please like, subscribe, all of that, share this with people. I know that there's a lot of work for me to do at Black Falcon to kind of push this and kind of continue to use the right fabrics and stuff, and I promise you that, yeah, I'm still looking into it. But the very fact that I've even, from the very start, but I hadn't actually addressed it until now, that I'm actually very, very sensitive about the kind of fabrics that we use to make our t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts and everything that we've been making. I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that obviously, yeah, we do care, but it's in my mind all the time. So for the next couple of GARMs, for this year, for next year, and the subsequent years, just know that it's something that's always been on my mind, and it's always been something that I'm always going to be striving for in the future going forward. So yeah, and of course, final plug, please, if you haven't got yourself a t-shirt, what are you doing? Get yourself a t-shirt. Head over to our store. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for our t-shirts. Look, it's summertime, so now's the best time to be getting these. But of course, like I always like to say, our hoodies are around in any time, are the best thing to get in any time of the year. So I'm going to leave a link to those two items in the description below. And yeah, continue to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. Peace.